last word.
All right, good evening. Is the dream to have a job, any job, or whatever job, anywhere? The question of labor mobility is central to a country's progress, but it's even more important to citizens. We all want to be gainfully engaged so that we can provide for ourselves and those we care about. We do know that employment in Kenya has been falling. The quality of work is also quite problematic. The government has been aggressively pushing Work Abroad program where the state says it has taken close to 400,000 Kenyans overseas. The question tonight is this: are the jobs abroad the solutions for our employment issues back at home? Tonight on The Last Word, as always, I'm joined by Sharon Momanyi, journalist of serious repute. She has over a decade and a half experience in telling stories. Zaha Ndimuli, free-spirited Gen Z, feminist, developing public intellectual, and an all-round good person. Finally, Eric Latif, talk show host and journalist of note in this country and beyond, and asker of hard questions. And I'm James Smart. The Last Word starts right now. Good evening and welcome. Together in studio, we have a live audience that will be engaging as we go throughout the next hour and a half. Let's start with where we should on this very important question that we always start every week on: what is it that's disturbing you? The hot button.
Well, I think my week's hot button is not just disturbing me. I represent all the animals in the same caucus, together with the elders and communities that are in the Masai Mara. So with the president's endorsement of a luxury hotel in Masai Mara, there's a clear message we are getting. Kenya is open for high-end tourism. But the question that raises here, when we have 60% of wildlife habitat in Kenya on community land, displacement will not only hurt the diversity, it will also hurt the people. We're having land encroachment and displacement happening, increasing pressure for communities' interest, privatization of community land. We're having an ecosystem that is already so fragile, so strained, being added on top, another new luxury lodge. Yet we have over 150 camps and lodges across the Mara, and its surrounding conservancies. And then for me, the question is, this is not an anti-development call, Mr. President. This is a call to just, inclusive, respectful, and ecologically impacted development. This is a call for you to look at the communities that you're actually harnessing these luxury hotels, of which not most of us get to get there. This is you looking at the fact that progress that ignores participation, climate resilience, and indigenous sovereignty will hurt us like we've seen the rest of the world go towards. We're also reminding the government that construction is disrupting wildlife movement here. We have pollution that is already at the marge. We have fragmented landscape. We have impact of predator-prey dynamics and breeding patterns. Well, we're seeing the president launch the wild-beast migration that has been happening for so many years in this country. So for me, I think it's a call to action for us to revisit. Do we want to prioritize development in our national reserves, or do we want to actually keep them for our children and the next generations to be here to observe them? So for me, real sustainability just basically means no one and nothing is left behind. Not the elephant, not the elders, not the women, and not the soil. That is my hot button of the week. My name is Zaha Ndimuli.
So you don't want hotels in the park?
There's so many places to build hotels. Like, can we just let lions hunt and elephants drink water?
So we should keep off?
Not necessarily keep off. I feel like we cannot prioritize biodiversity. I mean, we've seen what is happening even in Karura. We are literally looking at our natural reserves and saying, okay, cut this and build a concrete building. These are things that have been landed over and beyond over the years for us to have privilege to call our own. So why do we destroy them? Where will the wild beast migrate to? We're the wonder of the world now with a whole hotel. We are no longer being wondered at.
Good points you raised, though. And I think it's important that you continue raising them the way they are. My hot button for this week is basically just hopping from last week's hot button which was on the issue of church and regulation. Now, I'm happy to report that the cabinet met today, and finally, after 1 year since the presentation of the Reverend Mutava Musyimi report, they discussed that report today, and the cabinet has approved that report, which says, let us see how we can regulate churches. But come with me to church. In fact, come with me to the AIPCA Kahuro Church in Kehumo, Muranga, and let's meet a 65-year-old woman. Let's call her Mama Kamau. Now, Mama Kamau, this past Sunday, went to church. Unbeknownst to her, some politicians decided to visit her church. That's not all. Some police officers decided to visit the police officers who decided to visit the church. That's not all. Some goons decided to accompany the police officers who decided to visit the politicians who decided to visit the church. Now, all these visitors started fighting. And Mama Kamau, 65 years old, is there in her church, and there's a fracas. What's all this? We see this absolute nonsense happening in churches increasingly, where politicians go to church and rival politicians send goons, or police sent by rival politicians, or maybe those close to power, and violence erupts. And those people who usually go to this particular church on every day have a problem. This is my hot button for this week, and I'm saying it's about time we start implementing the Mutava Musyimi report. We start reining in on these church leaders and start saying that church is where church shall happen. Not politics, not violence, not any more of this nonsense. My name is Eric Latif.
You know, I'm just wondering, Eric, I've never been to a staged performance that did not have a stage controller. So do we want to export the responsibility of who manages that stage, who opens the door to these churches, for these politicians to come and do what the church is not about? Like, do we want, I won't even lie that I know what is the outstanding thing from the Musyimi report. But like, this is something that we manage from our own churches. By the time your pastor is like really dying to have these people on your stage, you are cooked. You should be looking for another church or praying from home.
Yes. Yeah. There's something called self-regulation.
Yeah.
In media, we have self-regulation. Various industries have self-regulation, right? It's the same thing that the Mutava Musyimi report is calling out for. Self-regulation that forms a basis for the regulation of religious organizations. Mm-hmm. So you in AIPCA, you belong to Pentecostal Alliance, then that Pentecostal Alliance come all the way to the faith-based organizations, you know, there's, what's it called, the Interfaith Council, and so on and so forth. Yeah. But then there will be checks and balances. Mm-hmm. When such things happen, you come to the church leader and ask, why are these things happening in your church?
So there's oversight. That is structured, and there's a framework for oversight. Yes. And I know how important that is. But
you know, Eric, every day I keep revisiting, and I think I agree with Jesus Christ of why he actually whooped people in the temple, because quickly it's becoming a marketplace, a political dais, it's becoming everything. But then what would that look like when we have oversight? Do we take them to court?
They whip each other.
Yeah. Or the council of the church council would know how to deal.
They whip each other.
Okay. Right. Okay, my hot button tonight, I'm looking at the state of women in power. And this is coming off of recent events where we have seen prominent women leaders put in a position where they have to dance. It would seem, because a debate has come out of this, very heated debate on various social media platforms, asking when an elected woman leader is prompted to dance as a spectacle, what then does this mean? Does this mean that is there even a question to ask about that? We've seen in recent political events this happening, and I don't want to get into the details of that, but the question that has come out largely has been, and I know Member of Parliament Millie Odhiambo had posted on her own social media platform saying that she did not lack agency, wanted to dance, and all of that. But the questions that I want us to ponder about tonight with this matter, and we are really looking at this from a place where we've made as a country and globally, really, when we talk about women empowerment, and standing on the shoulders of giants such as the late Phoebe Asio, who we are yet to bury and who will be befittingly given a state funeral, that fought very hard for women to have agency, to have a seat at tables where decisions are made. So when a counterpart who you should be equal to in terms of speaking, in terms of the space you occupy, then asks you to turn around as a spectacle for entertainment, what does this mean? Is this just a dance? And this is what I want to pose it as the questions that we ask, because I've seen what is coming out of this debate. Is this a choice or a command? Even from that position of agency, are you really choosing to do what has been asked or demanded of you? Is there really choice that you have in this? Does this undermine your authority as the woman in leadership? Is it about respect, or is it about performance and spectacle? And if you truly answer this question, then what does it mean in terms of how do we hold the women that are in positions of power? And then what is the broader message that this kind of events are posing? What is the broader message? There is a message to the women themselves. There is a message to the parties from which they come from. There is a message to the holders of power in that particular space and in the broader space that they are occupying. And I don't want to look as though I'm pointing fingers to the women who have danced to this call of tunes. I think I want to reflect as myself, as all the women that are held to account or to positions of speaking, of power and representation, that are we really there? Are we really there? Are we really making strides? Are there things that are beyond what we actually speak about? That is my hot button tonight, that this isn't just about politics, it's about the pervasive culture that dictates how women are perceived, are treated. And when you're in a position of speaking for more than just yourself, then when you can at least be honest about the things we need to be honest about in our conversations. That's my hot button.
You know, it's so hot, it burnt my throat. I'm looking at a lens whereby, as a young woman, I'm watching TV and I'm seeing an adult man command an adult woman, because put aside the very many labels we have, leader, whatever, I'm seeing someone who's a father, a son, an uncle, tell an aunt, a mother, to turn around in spectacle and dance. And I think for me, it's very systemic. It's very systemic how we look at women in power. It's very systemic how we look at women matriarchy syndromes, like in aspects of them being mothers in the house, in us having women reps and women leaders in the spaces. It's how ashaming it is for us to see our mothers being paraded as an entertaining credit in most political rallies. It's how substantially women are used to create this fanatic that the fun of politics is a demand for you to turn around and give a little dance. Yeah. But then also the question becomes, can they say no really?
Yeah.
Strategically, you are put in those systems to do exactly that, to prove a point. Yeah. So whether you say yes, you have something to pay, and you say no, you also still have a price to pay.
It's like the cost of agency. And I understand that. And when I was pondering about it, was the question of, would I, Sharon, do any different if I was in that position? And you can't really know until you're in that place, because you're carrying the representation of so many girls, and then you don't know if them playing the, you know, the forceful person, the non-conformative person, what is the cost of that? Does that cost you agency for not just yourself, but for every other girl that you represent? And that's why I thought the reflection was about honesty, about what else. Are we simply still surviving? You know, there's a place of survival, like I need to be here, and there's a cost to being here.
But you know, a non-conforming woman is always punished. When you're a non-conforming woman, the world does not look at you as a place of, you know, we welcome this. You will be punished terribly.
Yeah. This sounds like something that we should take as a whole topic.
Looking at the woman in the mirror.
So it's a whole topic by itself.
Well,
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know we all are here to discuss the questions of jobs and jobs abroad. We'll be getting to that quite shortly. That is our topic of the night. But my hot button, quite simply, is a story coming from Eldoret of a guy called Dennis Lusava. In 4th of October 2020, Dennis Lusava had an altercation in a town called Mururu Town with two policemen, PC Ruben Yator and PC Godwin Wekesa. That's on the 4th of October. 3 days later, they somehow organized for a friend to bring him or lure him to a police station. This is what the court documents say. They bring him to a police station where they tie him up and they beat him mercilessly for the full day. The mother was told about her son being arrested, went to the police station, and the police asked for 2,000 shillings to release the son. They got the money, and Dennis was released. However, Dennis was really beaten, and he had to be taken to the hospital. In the hospital, he was pronounced unconscious and died. This is what the police did. They came and picked the body and dumped the body in Webuye, River Webuye. On 11th of October, that's when the body was discovered, positively identified by the relatives. Now, these two policemen, Ruben Yator and Godwin Wekesa, today have been convicted and sentenced to 35 years for the murder of Dennis Lusava, who, his only mistake was having an altercation with two policemen in a random day, in a random town, and he ends up dead. Now, this is the thing for me, that it's yet another indication that the police force service is not a service. It just doesn't work for us. Another indication that if you see a policeman, you should be going the exact opposite. But tonight, justice has been served. These two policemen are facing the law, and they will serve 35 years in prison. Yay for justice, but no for the police. That's my hot button for the week. Now, we also have an audience, and people have burning issues. Let me start with the gentleman, dashly dressed. Please. Your name and what is your hot button for the week?
Thank you very much. My name is CIM Muredi Alex. I'm a youth from Mweki Ward, Kasarani constituency. My hot button tonight, as a youth, I think the very key thing that we are looking forward is progress. About whatever that is happening in our country, we have seen that the government is not doing what is necessary for us. Whenever we are trying to reach out about this, instead we are being met with a lot of brutality. As at now, the worst thing I feel as a youth, despite the fact that the government can't provide for us the jobs and anything, it has gone ahead, and instead of protecting us, it's now ordering us to be killed. I think what frightens my parents, especially as an activist, is that up to when will maybe these answers be answered, so that maybe I'll feel safe, because until then, it's when I can maybe keep quiet. But what our government is showing us, it's like there is no hope for such.
All right. Thank you very much. It's a burning issue. We'll get to it. Okay. I do have another hot button from here. I think it's a lady. Please, could you stand up, tell us your name, and what is it that is your hot button this week?
Yeah, it comes a time where silence is no longer an option. Yeah, my name is Faith Gakuo, a national youth leader and a mental health advocate. And I'm standing here with pride of those petitioners who petitioned to recall the women representative of Nairobi County. And I'm so proud of them, because it takes a lot of courage, especially now when many of us are keyboard warriors, when many of us can't stand strong. And this is a call to the people. Kindly, if you are there and it comes a time where that signature is needed, please avail yourself. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Remind people not to be keyboard warriors. Erica, you're a keyboard warrior.
I think in some instances I am. Because I like to use my keyboard and my microphone and everything else to raise issues. For example, as we got into discussing today's last one, which is on jobs abroad, we want to also talk about the NTV Fact Check, which is where we debunk the videos. What's real, what's fake, what's true, what's false. And we're going to have a quick exercise here where we look at what do we work on, right? What is it that we shall use to tell the truth from the fake, the real from the false? Now, we're talking about jobs abroad. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is abroad, not looking for a job, but he's there and he's been visiting several people. Now, there are people who've posted videos online. Even his own communication team has posted videos online. But then there are people who have posted other videos online. There's one that was posted on Facebook, and the user even said, "Najua mtajifanya mjaona vile wana treat Riggy pale US." This is a video. Now what we're going to do is a quick exercise. You look at the video and you'll tell me whether you think that video is real or fake. If you think it's real, you show me the green card, okay? If you think it's fake, you show me the red card. Let's do green. Show me the greens. Green, 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 and the red. And now you shall raise it completely, okay? Let's take a look at this video. So what we are seeing here is this was what was posted by this person, Wamunyoro in the US. That this is showing that is Wamunyoro in the US with a motorcade, right? Now, who believes that that video is real? Show me with the green. Who thinks it's fake? Show me with the red.
Where is your belief?
No green? Is there any green?
There's one green.
There's one green?
Yeah.
Please give her the mic. Let's hear.
Give her the
actually
mic.
thinks that video is true.
Give her the mic, yes.
Where is your faith?
Please stand up and tell us your name. And what made you think that that video could be real?
My name is Njeri Maina from Murang'a County. We saw a video circulating online about him being escorted by police cars and also officers from the state. So, to my understanding, it might be real.
So you think this particular one is real? Have you seen this particular video before? Have you seen it before? That particular video that we've played. Have you seen it before? Or it's the first time you've seen it?
I've seen it for the first time, but I've seen him being escorted.
You've seen him being escorted?
Motorcade.
In the US.
Okay. Because he's been in the US and he's been escorted, maybe this one is real. Now, give somebody here who had raised the red card. Let's hear. What made you think that video is fake?
Oh, the video is fake. Reason being, I think this is just something that has been scripted. They just want to show us how powerful Riggy J is when he's abroad, to a point that he can be acknowledged, to a point that he can be given that massive security. And I think this is just scripted for some information for Kenyans to take home.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to play that video again, but now show you why we say that this video is not real. Now, if we play this video again and you take a keen look at it, you will see a motorcade and a limousine. Look at this limousine. See that flag? That is the flag of China.
It's a red flag.
Regarding that's the red flag.
It is there.
It was right there. The answer was right there. Right? So that was the president of China who had gone to visit the US, and not even recently. And the next video we're going to show you is, again, look at the number plates and all. Now the next video we're going to play is going to show you that truly this was not a recent video. It was the president of China who had visited China before, not Rigathi Gachagua, definitely not in a Kia motorcade. Okay? So this video is fake. Sawa. Now we're going to take a quick break and then we come back and we are going to ask this question. Are jobs abroad the solution to Kenya or not? All right? Now, as we do this, I would like to see you with your answer for this. Do you think that foreign jobs are the solution to the unemployment problem in Kenya? Green, yes, and red, no. Okay? So you can see a number of you say no, 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 and a few of you say yes. Let's take a break. We'll be discussing this shortly after this. This is The Last Word on NTV.
All right, welcome back. You're watching The Last Word. Now, to really the last word. And the question you're asking this week is this. Are jobs abroad the solutions to Kenya's unemployment challenge? Are jobs abroad the solution to Kenya's unemployment challenge? So this is how we want to set it up. Now, in the last few years, we do know that Kenya has been going through an economic downturn. That obviously has forced the question on how we build our employment, that our economy really does not have enough jobs. We do know that for a fact. We know that for many years, for decades in fact, we've been unable to transition the people who are from education systems to unemployment. Let's look at some statistics here for us just to set the stage for this conversation. Generally, out of the 19.4 million workforce, 960,000 are not employed according to the 2022 official statistics from KNBS data. That means 3.5 million Kenyan youth, 1534, are idle, not in employment, education, or in training. That's a damning stat. That most of the youth coming out from our education system are unable to be taken in or consumed by our job market. We also do know that our job market and our economy is unable to take in the people that we produce from the education system. Let's set it up from this point of view as we go to the data and stats. But the question really here is, Sharon, perhaps you can help me here, as a person from the street. Is it asking a question, a failed question, that the jobs government pushing hard and saying in the immediate term, we're going to provide jobs, we're going to ask other countries to take in our workforce, well-trained, fully trained, but unable to work here, to go and work abroad. Yeah. Is that setting us up for failure? Or perhaps it's something that sorts our problems?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, Smart, if I'm that Kenyan who graduated in 2016, and this is 2025, or by 2024, hadn't yet secured a formal employment. Maybe I've been getting by, kibarua hapa pale, small jobs and this is a reality for many Kenyans, right? That you come out of uni with your engineering degree, your journalism degree, actuarial science degree, but there's nowhere to go. Trust me, at this point, I'm not thinking about who is going to be driving the industries of Kenya, who's going to be writing the blueprint.
You don't care about that.
For our development. Yeah. We are human beings, and the first instinct is for survival.
Right.
And then the opportunities outside, because I could get a job here as a nurse, and I think that's one of the most common, profession that, or most popular outside of the country. That even if I was to get employment here and get paid roughly between 60,000 and 110,000, then if I go outside, this figure, this salary is up to 8 times of what I'm getting on a net basis. Then that is actually an opportunity for myself and for my family, because you're looking not just to put food on the table, but also to make some sort of investment that can secure yourself and your family for the future. And I think the government has been doing this for a couple of years now, trying to secure bilateral kind of relationships and work particularly oriented towards agreements on work and how to regulate the migration of workers in the country.
Now that you speak about that,
yes.
I want to bring in the president so that we can really hear from the horse's mouth, if you like, or the wild beast mouth. This is the president speaking about the question of jobs and employment and the government's efforts in making sure that they are pushing to get Kenyans to get jobs abroad. Let's listen to the president. Well,
kama Wakenya wengi hana sauti.
Well, we appear to have technical hitches with that clip. It means someone needs to be employed somewhere to make sure that clip. But we'll come back to it. But let me ask our audience. It's an expert audience that has come tonight to speak on this question. Are jobs abroad the solution to Kenya's unemployment? You have your cards, all right? Raise them as high as you can. Green is it is a solution. Red, it is not a solution. Green is a solution. Red, it's not a solution. Let's see. A couple of reds, some greens. All right, so I want to come to the president, and then I want the microphone to go around. Please remember how you voted. Let's listen to the president now. We do have that clip.
Vijana ambao tumewapatia placement nchi tofauti tofauti duniani kwa ile program tumesign ya labor mobility, tumesign bilateral labor agreements na nchi tofauti tofauti. Vijana 1,400, unanisikia? 400,000. Huyu Mutua huyu anaelewa hiyo kazi. Wameenda kufanya kazi nje ya Kenya. Ile pesa tunapata ya remittance imeongezeka by $1 billion in the last 2 years. Mnanielewa? This country is changing. Hii nchi tunaibadilisha.
Great. So I'll not go back to the audience. There's quite a bit, you know. Good sir, your name. What did you vote, please? How did you vote? It's not a solution. Why?
Thank you very much for having me here. My name is Dega Marcus from Mukurweini, the land of milk and arrow roots. For me, it's so unfortunate to see our president there saying how he is going to take us abroad, yet that is not what we elected him for. When we were electing him, he promised us that he is going to create jobs for us, only for him now to become a signature, that he is putting signature through bilateral talks to send us abroad. So unfortunate about him, because as youths or young people, we are using taxpayers through, for our education, which has been funded by taxpayers, and also our parents are sacrificing for us so much. Then our president wants to send us to Israel to milk cows. He wants to send us to Australia so that we can take care of snakes. So unfortunately, he wants us to take us to Doha so that we can go wash dishes. It's so unfortunate that I graduated. I have a degree.
Good sir. How does one take care of snakes in Australia? Like I can't just allow you to pass with that. Who even goes to Australia to take care of snakes?
Well,
you see, that is the vision of our president. The vision that he has. He can't create
pet
jobs.
managers.
Yes.
Yeah, pet managers. That's
is
a better
the only
to
thing
put
that he can.
But let me ask, just for, if you don't have work, argument passes. You don't have work today. You have educated, qualified. What's the problem of you getting a job abroad? What is the problem? The difference between getting a job here and getting it abroad?
The problem is, there is no big problem in going to work abroad, but I was educated here. So the skills that I got here, I should use them in my country. I don't hate my country. I'm a patriotic citizen. I love my country so much.
Good point.
Why should I take my skilled labor to USA? Why should I take them? They have their own problems there. I want to solve the problems of my country.
All right.
It's so shameful. Let me add this one. It's so shameful that our president cannot create jobs, but want the jobs that have been created by other presidents there. I think the least he can do.
All right. Let me hear from someone who thinks different. I hope you're thinking different. I want someone who
Agreed.
yes, who
There's a
actually
little
agree. We'll come back to you. Are you agreeing that?
A green card.
Okay,
That's
please give the lady at the front. I will come back to you. Tell me why it's a good idea to take jobs abroad as opposed to as solving unemployment. Your name, introduce yourself, and why this happen. Why is this a good idea?
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Winnie Bundi, Director of Winbango Agency Limited. I've been outside the country for 6 years, and now I'm back in Kenya running my agency. I'm agreeing with this because, okay, it will not serve everyone. We can't help everyone travel, but the jobs are there. The thing is, we believe Qatar, Dubai, those famous countries, but right now we have jobs in Saudi, and the cost there, it's not as high. The commission fee is not very high, and the life there is good. You can make life there. So we focus on the negative side, but also some people are getting income there and they are helping their family back.
Wait, Winnie, can I ask you, what did you train when you're here in school or college?
I didn't go to college because of financial issues.
Here?
Here in Kenya, yeah.
All right. So abroad, what work did you do?
I was working as a housemaid.
All right.
Yeah.
And that helped you to now set up what you have now here?
It did, yes.
So it worked for you to transition from unemployment, things that are not happening in this country, now you have something that you're solving a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone think that's a problem? Anyone else who feel that's a problem? Okay. If you are to be, okay, let's give this gentleman the microphone. Yeah. Please, there's a microphone on this side. Please introduce yourself. We'll solve this problem. All of you will speak. Do not worry. Good sir, what's your name?
My name is Rogers Munyekenye. I was born and raised here in Kenya. I live in Australia. I've stayed in Australia for 11 years.
Oh, you take care of snakes?
That has triggered me to speak. In fact, I wanted to be a little bit quiet to hear the voices in here. I went to Australia. I joined my wife. She went there as a student. Jobs is something very difficult to really analyze, because if somebody is on this world, he must get something to do. And the world is a global village nowadays. We can work anywhere. So I want young people to be very positive. In Kenya here, I worked as a banker for many years. But when you realize opportunity I got out there, they're huge. In fact, I've been able to open a company in Australia, and I'm running the company for the last 3 years. I'm able to come back at home to invest. I've built a godown for textile industry back in Kitale. I'm able to invest in EPZ because I see there's opportunity out there. I have registered an agency after hearing a message, a positive message from the president. So I've tried to analyze so many things. I got an opportunity to meet the Minister of Labor, Mr. Mutua. I've met the PS. I've met several people, at least to outline things in the right way. So maybe I'll get another opportunity to
classify a few things. But I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you answer the question the gentleman asks here, that I'm educated here, I want to work here in this economy to make sure that this economy moves and we build a country for all of us here, all right? So how do you answer that specific question? Because it's very specifically direct. I want to work here, I want to live here.
Yeah. I think in this world, you have no decision where you're going to live forever, according to me. When I was born in Western Kenya, I didn't know I'll come to Nairobi. I came to Nairobi. I didn't know I'll go to Australia. So we need to be very positive. The key thing is you are moving outside the country. How are you going out there? Are you going as a profession? Which country are you going to do? What are you going to do there? It depends with the agency that are taking people outside. Are they taking people to write professional? Are they taking them out there on tourism visa, or you're going to Australia as a skilled migrant? So there are several opportunities. We need to address them in a positive way. Because if you work in West, you work in Australia, the earnings that you bring back here, they're really very important, according to me.
Okay, I want to get two more voices before they do come and move this conscious forward. Let's pass the microphone to the back, the gentleman on your back. You're burning with this issue. Please stand up, your name, and on the question of jobs abroad, are they solving our economic problems here, unemployment problems here? Where do you sit?
Thank you very much. My name is Mushiru Wakagoni. I am a youth leader at Gatondo North constituency in Kiambu County. And I want to disagree with absolute totality that labor export is a solution to the unemployment we have in this republic. In fact, satirically speaking, I think we should change, or we should rename the Ministry of Labor to Ministry of Human Export. The government is so focused, it has forgotten what we call industrial revolution, and it has embarked on airport revolution. It wants us graduates, instead of lifting our graduation caps, it wants us to be lifting our passports. That every young person of this nation should be queuing in airport to move abroad, to develop other economies, whereas we have our economy as a country to build.
Okay.
It is really unfortunate.
All right.
And maybe one point before I sit down.
Yes.
The president also said that in the last 2 years, the government of Kenya has exported 400,000 youths. We have 730 days in 2 years. If you divide 400,000 by 730, it means that the government has been exporting 548 youths each and every day, including Sundays and public holidays. Yeah. And from my little knowledge, I understand that the biggest aeroplane at KQ has a capacity of 250 people. So it means 2 big aeroplanes at KQ move out of the country each and every day, export people to different destinations of the world to work there. I think hii ni maajabu. What are we really talking about? Uongo ingine.
Sir, thank you.
It is really unfortunate for us young people.
Your point is made. And Eric Latif, on the facts, your job is on shaky grounds. You'll be unemployed very soon. Very soon, right? Very soon, your job. Kuna mtu wa mathematics. Can I get one final thing before we come back here? Yes, the lady. Your name and where do you vote?
My name is Faith, Director of Young Moms Initiative, and I don't subscribe to whatever our president said. I, being ex-Gulf worker, the condition is not conducive for us.
Where did you work? Could you just tell us a brief story of where you worked? What happened to you?
I used to work as a housemaid, but at that time I used to work, I was privileged to get a boss who was very nice for me, and I pursued my career. That is, I did nurse, so currently I'm a nurse by profession under my boss. So I don't subscribe to that because I, being an Gulf worker, is because, one, the constitution there is not conducive for us. Those people, they mistreat us. You can imagine someone telling you to wake up 12 a.m. That is 6 a.m. in the morning, you work until midnight. And the salary is so petty. Someone paying 29,000, you have to buy for your own credit, you have to buy for your own basic needs. And now president is telling us to go and work outside. Those people, they depend on our minds. Like 2 years ago, I was in Qatar as well. I was working there. And you can imagine my boss calling me, being a kadama in the house, she wants me to help her make decision of her job. Really? You are the boss. I'm here as a housemaid. You get it? And also, like, those embassies, they don't even help us. We have a lot of women in those embassies, in those prisons, man. They are fighting each and every day. They want to come back home, but you have to stay there because you have not terminated your contract. And no one is there to fight for them.
Can I ask you?
Please do.
So now you are trained as a nurse.
Yeah.
Are you employed here as a nurse? If a company in the UK approached you and offered you to go and work in the UK as a nurse, with a salary of about 350,000 shillings, and you have an annual air ticket to come back home, and you can go to the UK with your family, would you go?
No.
Why?
Because I have freedom in my country more than that in that country. In those countries, we are slaves. We don't have freedom.
So you'd rather stay here jobless
Yeah.
than take
I'm
a job
not jobless because I have skills. Because looking at now the Gen Zs, most of us were not actually practicing our career. Personally, I'm a nurse by profession, but I don't practice.
Employed?
Yes.
But not as a nurse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the same time, running my own company.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think what I'm hearing here is the debate of whether you want to be gainfully employed.
Yeah.
And this is just gainfully employed, whether it's in the career or that you studied, or whether you just have a job that earns you an income or not, and whether this economy is strong enough to absorb the number of people who are getting into the job market every year.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is that we have, every year we know our population is growing by 1 million people. That means every year there's 1 million people joining grade 1, there's 1 million people graduating out of 4th form, there's 1 million people getting out of the tertiary colleges, and so on and so forth, getting into the job market. Is the economy able to absorb them? We have seen from the numbers that no, this is not actually absorbing these numbers.
Yeah.
So we have an unemployment problem in the country.
Yeah.
Do we say that, are you willing to wait until the economy is strong enough to give you the job that you trained for, that you deserve? Or are you willing, are you willing to do a job? Is it kazi bora or bora kazi as you live? Okay. The issue of labor mobility as a policy of this administration is now a formalized policy of this administration.
Yes.
But it's not a new thing in this country. People have left this country for many years just going to look for opportunities abroad.
Yes.
Is Kenya the only country that's doing this? No. Actually, there are countries that have gamed this game so well that they've perfected it. Philippines, for example, is well renowned for doing this. And just on the blue collar sector, not even in the white collar. When it comes to jobs across various countries, Philippines took a bold step starting in the 1970s to see how do we address our lack of jobs in this country by making our people get to earn, but also contribute to the development of this country. So they created structures, and they've gone on perfecting. They have a perfect structure, near perfect structure, which is an agency through which you get jobs and placements abroad. They have the support for those workers who are abroad in terms of social welfare. They have ways in which you are able to come back home. And once you come back home, there is a support system of reintegration back home. So what has that done? It has sent very many Filipinos outside of the Philippines, into very many countries, including the Gulf countries. It has then also seen the huge spike in its remittances, and this is foreign exchange. And then it has also seen those people who come back and then they're supported into reintegration. They have gamed the system, they have perfected the system. Very many gaps if you just look at what our country is doing.
Right.
And maybe those are the areas that we need to address as we look at, okay, so why is it that people feel you go out there, you're mistreated, you go out there, you don't have, good working conditions, you're treated badly, because that's a complaint.
Right.
That it's not value for the job.
Right. Eric, I have a question. Yeah. I think we're so aloof with what young people are saying. And I'm coming from also as a Gen Z myself. And
the many young people here want to speak. Just give this Gen Z one moment.
Just one moment
to speak.
I feel like we're very aloof in understanding what the issue is. The issue is we know people travel for work. We have seen our parents, some of us, our aunties, we have done fundraisers for our families to go abroad. The pain in this situation is I shouldn't be forced to leave, to go find better elsewhere. The pain is it's not difficult to create jobs here. It's actually the misappropriation of funds. The pain is most of the time when people go, it's out of privilege, let's be honest. You need an average 150,000 Kenyan shillings to go to Saudi. And there's a passport, there's a medical bills, there's so much. And unto you if you're conned, which is most likely the case. So this whole idea of people actually relocating is very much a privilege. We're looking at young people who are talking about, I need a job here because here is where I can access. I need a job here because I want to see a country that grows out of my own effort. My university is in Nairobi. Why am I working in Atlanta? Why are my skills benefiting Jordan? I feel like as much as and it's very important, by the way, it's good for us to have an exposure. I mean, we have more Nigerian doctors everywhere than in Nigeria. But are we looking at ourselves? We have a revolution at hand of young people who are saying, I want to be a prominent doctor here at Nairobi Hospital. I want to be a very eloquent teacher here at the Kenyatta University. That gap is what we're seeing, a population of people that want to actually be here, but structures and systems don't exist to keep us here.
Right. I think my main problem that I have with this, while acknowledging there's a problem that's being solved, but let's face it, it's in the temporary, right? We have people who will get money right now, they'll get salaries, they'll support their families, maybe in a short few years they'll come back. But what's the long-term plan? Where is the strategy in all this? What is the government telling us when we are actually putting all our efforts to support our biggest minds, our biggest innovators to go out there? I have a problem with that because I don't see the long game. I don't see the long game. Meaning, are we comfortable with the space we are in, that we cannot accommodate our biggest minds? Does it mean we do not have a challenge? We do not have a space for development? And how do we then strategize around this? One of the issues that we've been facing in the past couple of years is these big foreign companies leaving the country. We've seen Johnson & Johnson's leaving, we've seen Procter & Gamble leaving, we've seen Sandy leaving.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That means it's a shrinking economic space. It's a shrinking space for opportunities. And why is that happening? It's because we are not making that environment favorable for investors. So we want to export, and this is a problem that we have as Kenya, not just in the talent sector, because I feel like we're speaking about talent and our human resource, but most of the things we export in its raw form. Why are we exporting raw talent?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Why we have some of the biggest sectors in this moment globally are the tech industries. Do you know how we have some of the biggest minds in technology in this country?
Yes.
I know them. I know a few Gen Zs who are doing incredulous things, working from either in their houses, but working for other countries out there,
Digital
doing
nomads.
amazing things. So in that space, we are actually exporting a raw product. We are exporting our raw minds, our raw talent. Is there something we could innovate that then we export as a solution?
Yeah.
And by that, we are also getting that foreign investment. You know what I mean?
Right. So I want to connect what Sharon says, and we're coming from Zaha's frustration that, we're not listening to, because it's a problem of a lack of imagination, if you like, on how you create an economy that works for the people, that people can actually get into. But let's listen to the CS, Alfred Mutua. Someone said, what do we call the ministry now?
Ministry of Human Exports.
The Minister of Human Exports. When he spoke about skills and this skills gap in the country and the problem that faces, let's listen to Alfred Mutua.
Kuna watu wengi wanataka kazi, lakini wengine wanaogopa. Wanaona ya kwamba kwa muda mrefu watu wamedanganywa sana, wamelipa mamilioni ya pesa ikapotea. Ndio sababu serikali imeamua sasa sisi ndio tutasimamia. Na tuko hapa, na serikali ni serikali. Ukicheza na kazi ya pesa ya wananchi, kukono wananchi, mimi Alfred Nganga Mutua na DC yetu kutoa hapo nyumbani kwako, tukuweke huko ndani kwa kule Maharagwe. Waache kucheza na pesa ya wananchi. So you can trust this process. Ndio unaona mimi waziri nimekuja hapa mimi mwenyewe kukuhakikishia kwamba the government is in charge and we are making sure hakuna ukora itafanyika. We want it to be very fair. The agency, I've told them, just deal with people who are getting recruited. I told them don't start telling people I'll call you to come to Nairobi to get a job. Offer the job. Once they have a job now, they can come to Nairobi, they can be told
you'll need a ticket, you'll need this. The employer is taking care of this, you take care of this.
So a few things to note here, that the kind of jobs the CA is talking about are the jobs that possibly require no skills. That is very clear, all right? We're going to get everyone just to move abroad because we don't have work for you here at that level, all right? That is the first problem that we need to resolve. The second problem is what the lady has said, that what happens there is you don't have rights. You don't feel like you belong. And we have stories, numerous stories of people being mistreated, being killed, coming back in coffins, and that really weighs seriously on us. Now, the third problem to confront is people with actual skills in this economy who cannot find work and get to work. Now, I want to go to the audience, because the question we have today is, what skills do we have to solve our problems in this economy, all right? As someone said, part of our bigger problem is we trained everyone to have degrees, all right? And very few technical skills, you know, plumbers, electricians, the ones that we need in this market today. We don't have that, but we have many degree holders, all right? And that's part of our problem. It's a problem of imagination, a problem of how we set up our economy. Where's the microphone? Good sir, please stand. What's your name? What is your contribution?
Okay, my name is Otieno Ambrose, also known as Dean Ambrose, a passionate and purpose-driven student at Kenyatta University, pursuing a degree in economics and finance. Beyond academics, I also believe in leadership, impact, and being a voice for young people. Now, in Kenya, skills, we have very many skills, but where are we going to take them, depending on the situation that we are having currently? It is very painful. It brings up ideas, words that we cannot explain by symbol of words, but we can only live to explain them by the audible language of our heart. I want you to look at it through my lenses. Now tell me, after I graduating, I'll be unemployed for a while. The government promised us that they are going to create jobs for us. Instead of creating jobs for us, they came up with a CBC system, hoping that we are going to have things like carpentry, we are going to have welders. But instead, the same government who promised to give us jobs is the same government who is giving contracts to Chinese when they said we be shoot in our legs. So he is taking away jobs from our country to other people. I mean this, our government should make life easy for us in a way that going abroad is only by choice.
By choice?
Yeah.
Yes. Not by necessity that you have to leave the country.
Not by necessity that you have to leave.
Right.
We shouldn't go away to escape the situation in our country. Thank you very much.
Fair point. Fair point. Where's the microphone on this side? Please give the microphone. Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone. I am Jacqueline Mukami Murioki. Currently, I work at JKUAT as a soil analyst. I've been abroad in Japan for possibly the last 3 years. I just came back, and I don't really say it's that bad to be abroad. The only thing I can say is the government as at now is not in a position to provide the jobs that we need. The only thing that I feel it can do, it's just an enabling environment for investors to come in. Then the investors are the ones who can maybe create the jobs for the people here, because we already have corruption and all other things. So for it to create that enabling environment and have the money for corruption, it will not be possible. So maybe unless we have that enabling environment for investors in all industries, and investment should not only come to the capital cities, maybe to, if it's agriculture investment, maybe to the western areas, we can get people from there. Maybe other industries like vehicles and everything can go to somewhere like Garissa or anything, then we can maybe be able to do everything within the country. But in the future, as at now, we have to export.
So what do we do now?
For now, you have
everyone get on a plane and exit.
Get
a job. Yes?
Not necessarily, but as at now, I don't think the government is in a position, that's the state of the nation.
Right.
It's not in a position to create that that job that we need. So right now it's like bora kazi, not kazi bora.
Bora kazi.
Bora kazi. As at now, that's what I feel. If you don't have anything to do, I think it's better for you to go before something to do can.
Bora kazi. Nataka mtu mwingine wa kazi bora au bora kazi. Patiana microphone. Yes. Okay. Yes, please stand.
Oh, thank you. Just once more. I'm Masawa Gray, a student from Kenyatta University taking accounting. I'm not in a position of advising the government, but I think you should listen to one or two. To a point that you're telling us that we should go abroad and work, and number one, coming out from the village to Nairobi is even a problem to some of us who just even at a point they get lost in Nairobi. They are confused and don't know what to do. So you want to take this person and take him abroad with the knowledge that he or she learned from Kenya, now to go and explore this knowledge abroad. I want to tell the government that going abroad should not be like we are forced to go. It should be you are going maybe for leisure or just going to explore more.
Right.
And for the government, I just want to say this. Creating jobs is not something very hard. What we have to focus, number one, is infrastructure. Can we just open the roads? I'm coming from Migori County where we have a lot of fish. So can we just construct our road that links the lake and the town to a point that we can export the fish from the lake, and we don't have now to waste our fish around the lake by even disposing the excess.
All right.
Instead of, can you just open the ways on how we can export our raw materials?
Point taken. I hope the government, yes, let me speak to the lady here and then put the microphone to the gentleman at the back here. Yes, please.
Good evening all. Kwa majina naitwa Anne Fondoni Mwangi, naomba kuongea na Kiswahili. Tuseme hivi, economy haitabadilika, economy itazidi kupanda juu. Hakuna siku economy itaenda chini. Hata sisi wenye wanataka kwenda, if wataenda, hakuna siku economy yetu itaenda chini. Then kuna hii msemo inasema uweze nifunza uvuvi, something like that. Uweze nifunza uvuvi na unataka bado niendelee kukuonyesha. Unaona, if our president aje atuambie nina kazi, nataka twende mahali, kazi ni mingi huku Kenya. Mimi nafanya kazi za online jobs. As for me, they give me money. Nilikuwa Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia hakuna kitu ilinipatia, cause nilikuwa Saudi Arabia like only 6 months, and those 6 months I came like nothing. Nilikuwa sijui vile naweza sema, but I was drained. Mimi kwa nyumba yenye nilienda, it wasn't a good house. Nilikaa miezi 6, those guys hawataki kunilipa, hawataki kunipa chakula. So hadi nikaongea na agent, and then here home ukiongea na agent, thank you, hata leo tuko na agent pia wanafaa kutuambia hivyo. Sisi tuko huko, wako huko, tunawaambia our agent tusaidie hapa. I used to tell my agent, nisaidie hapa, mbona hapa kuko hivi, naomba unirejeshe Kenya ama unitafute kazi nyingine wapi kule. Agent ananiambia hapana, hakuna uwezekano, lazima ukae Saudi miaka ngapi? 2 hadi umalize contract. Kwa nini? Hapana, tusiende huko. Ni heri, ni bora kazi. Si tunasema ni bora kazi. Upate chakula yako, mtoto asome, umepata 1 2 3 bas. If mimi niko na 50k saizi, and hiyo 50k na mtu mwenye ako juu, mimi wa Kenya hapa nitakuwa mbele kuliko mtu mwenye ako nje. Kwa hivyo ni heri kazi bora.
This conversation is going on nicely. Agent has been adversely mentioned, so I'll come. I want to finish this conversation here. Please bring the microphone to the agent who is adversely mentioned. Then I want to go to Mercy Otieno from Heart Kenya, because now I want to discuss this question of actually what happens. The agents have been questioned, and it's a big problem that the agents are not providing help to the workers who are abroad, and especially those who work in the Gulf countries.
Okay, so nitamjibu pia kwa Kiswahili. Saizi pia government kuna vile haitusaidii kama agents, kwa sababu Saudi kuna zile regulations wanatuwekea. For example, msichana akienda anaambiwa kama hajamaliza 3 months pale kwa employer, kama nyumba ni mbaya anarejeshwa Kenya. Unakuta ile ofisi ile pesa ilikuwa imenilipa, msichana akirudishwa mimi nalipa ofisi. Na si pesa kidogo, it's a lot of money. So ukiambia msichana avumilie, saa zingine haizivumilia. Msichana akitoroka, bado burden is on me. We don't share the loss with the Saudi office. Wow, they don't care. Na yule employer mwenye alichukua msichana alitulipa both the Kenyan office and the Saudi office. Lakini shida ikitokea, the Kenyan office carries the burden. So what is our government doing to protect us as agents?
Okay.
I have a question to you. Noticing you're an agent, are your hands tied by the government or you tie yourself? Because you have the direct link with the client, who happens to be the girl that goes, and then you have a direct link with another business, which is C2B, which is the Saudi government. When there are calls, like what she's saying, calls of abuse, calls of domestic violence, are those things you really need to negotiate and look at as a loss?
We don't negotiate. Like personally, myself, I've been there. I've worked for 6 years as a housemaid. So in such cases, I understand because I've been there. And usually what I try to do is, wanajaribu tukate ndege msichana arudi kwa hasara yangu mimi. You can imagine, Mwarabu atakukata $1,000, msichana arudi Kenya. Hiyo ni hasara kubwa. Wakirudi wasichana 5, nitafunga ofisi, nitarudi Gulf. So tunajaribu kusema ni kama kuna shida pale, wacha ofisi ya Saudi na government wasaidie agent. Isikuwe mimi naambiwa sisaidii msichana na saa zingine hakuna kitu naweza fanya. Maybe nililipwa ile pesa, nilikata ndege, nililipa ticket, nikalipa shule, nikalipa passport, nikampeleka shule, nikabaki na 20,000. Akikataa kazi nafaa kulipa 120,000. Hii mia natoa wapi na ilishatumika? So government pia isaidie. Si agent tukataa kusaidia msichana. Sometimes unaambia msichana ile mwezi moja ulifanya kazi, tukate ndege urudi. Msichana hataki. Sometimes hakuna hiyo pesa ya ndege. Hata government ingilie kati. Watu wenye wako embassy walipiwe na government, because kama mimi sasa sina hiyo pesa, what will I do?
Aya, hiyo microphone iko wapi? Tunataka tumalize mambo kwanza agent. Yes. Tafadhali.
I want to shoot my shot to you as an agent. As I said, I'm Faith, and I'm a former ex-work in Gulf. One thing, you as agent, you lie to us. You give us a contract. Now, the contract that you give to us, it's different from what we find in Saudi or in Qatar or in Dubai. Another thing, you don't tell us that there's a digital business that you're doing, because my boss pays you for me to go there. But when I come to your agency, I have to pay for my passport, I have to pay for my medical, yet my boss has paid for you. Why do you people lie to us?
Let me answer you. The boss doesn't pay for you.
Can I finish my questions before you answer me, please? Sure. Second, when a girl tells you that there is a thing called probation season, there is 90 days when you go to your boss. You have to weigh if you are comfortable working in your boss's house, and if you're not comfortable, you have to go back to the agent. There is an agency either in Saudi or in Qatar for your agent to get you another house. But you, when we reach out to you people, you don't agree to change the houses. You're like, you have to persevere there. You have to stay there for 2 years, having in mind that in those houses, some of them, even they attempt to rape us. You get it? And when we run to embassies, we have nowhere to go. You go to the embassy tells you have to pay your ticket. You get it? Having in mind that my probation season is 3 months, if the environment is not conducive, I can't go back home. You get it? You people, you need to tell us the truth. Protect our girls. We don't have rescue centers in those countries. Mtu amerepiwa na boss wake amekimbia ameingia streets. And when someone calls you, you start insulting them. You're going to have to return money. Yet my boss ni amekulipa. Mi passport yangu nimejilipia before niende pale. And another thing, why do those bosses hold our passport? Yet it's our money.
Those questions are enough. All right?
Those
questions are enough.
Let me answer.
I know there are so many agents, but please just answer.
Let me just answer her, and then I'll give the mic.
Yes.
So I'm going to answer on the basis of the boss pays for you. Right now, I've been in the business for 2 years. The only country that the boss pays for you is Saudi Arabia. Only. If you go to Qatar, you pay for yourself. If you go to Dubai, you pay for yourself. So if you pay for yourself and you want to go back, who will pay for your ticket? You paid for your ticket to go there, and then you want to come back. Your boss didn't pay me when you went to Dubai. No, only Saudi. And even the government knows, only Saudi, your boss will pay for you. So when you want to come back and you took yourself there, who will bring you back?
You took yourself.
All right. I want to Mercy to just give the microphone to Mercy. Come on the front. You will all have a chance to speak. I'm following a sequence. Mercy, the question of who's right versus who's wrong. So I have no rights. I've taken a job and I've gone to whatever it is in the Gulf. I'm unhappy. No one knows what's happening to me. How does that situation play out from what you've seen?
All right, so my name is Mercy. I work with Awareness Against Human Trafficking. We support survivors of human trafficking. So in this whole situation, one of the things we need to talk about is safe migration. Because what we are hearing here is people are leaving and they do not have proper information. And when you talk about safe migration, we mean that you need to have access to accurate information. So have information with regards to your safety, your dignity, your legal protection, as well as access to support so that we prevent situations of exploitation, abuse, or harm to the individuals that we are looking into supporting leave the country. So in that case, it means that even as a country, even as a government, as an individual who's looking to migrate abroad, I need to ensure that I have access to this information. So the first thing that needs to happen is if I am going for work, my documentation, how does my documentation look like? Majority of the people who are leaving will tell you they left with a tourist visa. Yeah. The tourist visa will expire after 3 months. So that means you are in another country and you are irregular there because you do not have proper documentation, yet you're working. Your contract says you're staying there for 2 years, but your work permit, you don't even have a work permit, and that legal document that you had has already expired. So then you're putting yourself in a situation where you'll be exploited before you leave. So it's important for us to have this information, as well as the government to give people this information, because most people don't have this information. So even as we're advocating for people to leave, the minister should also be talking about safe migration, looking at, are you going with a registered agency? And it's not enough for you to go with a registered agency, because as an organization we've seen, we have agencies that are registered but are still engaging in malpractice. So instances where they need to support you to come back, but they're not helping you. Distress calls are being made, they're actually ignoring or blocking this.
I'll lean on your expertise here.
Okay.
As someone who works in this space and seen many cases, is our government doing enough? Yes or no?
No.
They're not doing enough?
Yes.
All right. Please give this gentleman the microphone. You said earlier the government is doing quite a lot of work to improve on this situation.
I think I didn't say the government is doing a lot of work. We say out there's opportunities. The reason why I registered an agency is to make sure, as a profession who works and runs a company in a first world country, I understand why should somebody go outside the country and the policies of that country. Like now in Australia, we are very negative about people going outside the country. But imagine, in Australia, there's a lot of opportunity for employment. But Australia will not have a bilateral talk with Kenya because they see how we behave here, mostly, what is happening. Things are, in the social media, people are advocating not to go outside the country. And you find somebody saying, when you go to Australia, you'll be washing snakes. There are no snakes to be washed in Australia, you know? There are very really jobs. What we want is, I've run an agency for 1 year. I haven't sent somebody outside the country. I don't want to send people to countries where there are no clear policies because I need to protect myself. Last week I was having an interview with the National Employment Authority, okay? They called me as a director of the company to come to sit for an interview. They sent a message on Monday and they wanted me to be here on Thursday, okay? To travel to Australia to here is 27 hours of flight. I'm supposed to be here. I went to the board, I asked them, why do you do this, okay? We need to act professionally as a government. There are great opportunities out there. I run a company out there. I need people to support people with mental health I need people who can work with older people. They pay minimum $31 an hour, okay? If you work in a month, you make good money, okay? And that's why I'm coming back to Kenya now to provide for jobs. The company I'm creating in Kitale, it will employ 200 people for textile. What am I looking into? I need to export clothes to Australia, okay? All clothes that people wear in Australia come from Bangladesh. They come from China. Why are we not able to create this opportunity?
All right.
Okay.
Let's get the back to the gentleman at the back, and then I will come back to the panel, Eric and Sharon, to move the conversation forward. Yes, to him, and then to the gentleman at the back. Yes.
Okay, thank you. My name is Dennis, and I've been working in the recruitment agencies. I've had so many challenges here about the Gulf positions. So I would like to introduce you guys to something else, a new industry again abroad. It is called the cruise ship industry. If you're a graduate and you know you graduated with a degree, you graduated with something that at least you have a skill, that industry doesn't have challenges. And of course, we are going abroad. The challenges are there, of course, but they are minimal compared to those that we have in Gulf.
Are you speaking about seafarers?
Yes.
Okay. And more.
Yes. Now I'm speaking about the seafarers because I've worked in the agency and currently I'm operating as a consultant.
So what kind of skills are you looking for? What kind of skills? Just give us like 5, 6, 7 skill sets that you're looking for.
So the skills that they look for. A doctor, if you did medicine, there is an opportunity there. Those are people that earn even up to $6,000 to $8,000 US, just being a doctor. So us as young people, we have opportunities there. Be it you did hospitality. If you are a teacher, just recently we recruited teachers to go abroad. A teacher earns over $3,000 US.
A month?
And you go, yes, that is per month.
All right.
And there is no mistreatment. There are no those stories that you don't pay for your rent, you don't pay for food, you are just moving on the open seas.
All right.
Okay. We have over like 3,000.
You're cruising.
Just hold it. Let me ask you,
Yes.
have you worked there?
No, I've not worked there. So, let me tell you.
Just a second. So, no, you have not worked there.
Yes.
In an honest and nobody will throw a stone at you, how many people in your own family would you advise to go?
Okay. I have so many people.
Be very honest. We're heading somewhere, right? Yeah.
In my
because
honest
you're a
opinion.
consultant.
Yes.
Would you take any of your family members there?
Yes, I would.
To do
Definitely.
What? To do
because actually there are some family members that I am currently working on, so that
so
they can go and work
yet.
there. I can advise anybody to go on the cruise ship.
But
there are
yourself,
no
you haven't gone.
I haven't gone.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to go there.
All right.
Yes.
Give the gentleman the microphone at the back. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Just to add on that,
yes.
and I say this because about 6 years ago, I did a very comprehensive report about the status of seafarers in Kenya. And at the time, unless that has changed since then, there were several challenges, and biggest of which was that Kenya had not gotten into formal agreement with the governing body. I need to remember what that is. It's that this kind of ratification then regulates, first of all, allows the partnership with Kenya and these cruise ship owners, you know, the people who employ, and also then creates a framework where you can oversee the welfare of workers. And I know that we got into this agreement about a few months after we did the report, and that opened opportunities for so many people to get jobs there. What we need to check is the welfare, the opportunities available, and how Kenyans then report how this has been coming. But that's a good point.
All right, quickly, before we go.
Thank you very so much. This is Kelly. I want to say this. As much as we are praising and encouraging people to go and work outside there, we need to ask ourselves a very simple question. What are we creating here? Because if you told me education is the key, you created the key here, why can't you create the door for that key? Because why are you giving me the key, then sending me out to go and look for the door? I don't know where the door is located. Show me the door. This government is closing down industries and building churches for us to come back to the same churches, for the pastors to pray for us to get jobs where a company was. So that is the mistake we are making. So first of all, let us fix this nation. Because these guys are looting everything they see, left, right, and center. They are stealing everything they see, they loot. So why are we sending these kids to school? To do what? To speak English. Because for us here, English is a language for successful people. If you speak Swahili, you are a failure.
Yes.
So we are going to school to speak good English, but nothing in our head. Our education systems are messed up. It teaches us only two things: cram and remember. Take, for instance, a student, an IT student who graduated 2 years ago. Tell them you're giving them a job in an IT firm. They'll tell you, give me time to refresh. They have forgotten whatever they learned there. So they are not giving us an ideas and teaching us how to be creative. They are only telling us, cram, remember, simple, go home.
I want to ride on your frustration. Allow me before Eric comes in, because this is what I've also been simmering on. In 2008, we came up with Vision 2030. I think this is now, 17 years on?
We have 5 years to go.
5 years to go. And clearly this vision, well, it's our development blueprint. Yeah? And we specifically outlined the vision to be that we want Kenya to be a newly industrializing country, and middle income country. We have how many years to go? 5 years to go. I'm very curious to see the audit of where we are as far as implementing this is concerned. And I know we had pillars to do with the economic pillar and social pillar, which is everything we are speaking about. And it speaks to the question of, are we putting our money, actually, where our mouth?
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around. I don't know what comes first, the money or the mouth, But because I know soon we'll be giving our closing remarks, but that where is the place for strategy, which I know I've been saying from the start, but there must be a way, or there must be a strategy to expand what we can see as potential sectors. It's very obvious. We've been speaking about what these sectors are. Manufacturing. I think this government has been keen on agriculture. We've seen the kind of investments they've made. Is there more that we can do such that can we, as we get to 2030, and then we need another plan coming after that, because one of the biggest problems we have is governments coming in, doing what you want to do for the time that you're in there, and not playing the long game, because we can't have every government coming in wanting to have free fertilizer for this year, for these 5 years, the next 5 years another thing, so that we don't have a big plan to have specific growth sectors that we're investing in that then can expand and take up both skilled workers. We have sectors that can take, the TVET, skill-based and vocational skills, those kind of things. I don't know that I've seen such a plan that goes beyond our political timelines.
The plans are there. We have a political problem in this country. And I think this is what we're just hearing from everybody who's speaking. We have a political problem, and that needs a solution, and it needs a political solution. But at the same time, we have an economic problem that is being exacerbated by the political problem. And that's our issue. We recently had a conversation on the Vision 2030 with somebody who sat in the drafting of the Vision 2030 and then was a director at the Vision 2030 Secretariat, and then served as a Director General of the Vision 2030, and is now a lecturer. And one of the things that we just kept asking is, was Vision 2030 ever anchored and ring-fenced in law? And it wasn't. So the incoming governments of Uhuru and then Ruto are coming in and they're following the Vision 2030 blueprint, and they're speaking whichever part they want to do it, but we are not necessarily religiously following the Vision 2030. So the Vision 2030 is being adjusted to suit the politics of the day and not the other way around. Right? So if you look at what we are saying here today is that we have an economy that is not able to absorb the jobs. And people are saying we need our economy to grow so that it can absorb these jobs.
Right.
I'll ask that question again. We have a chicken and the egg. How are we treating them? Do we want to eat the chicken and then keep the egg so that then we can hatch later? Maybe through an electric incubator. Do you want to eat the egg and then you can have the chicken, laying more eggs in future? Or can we use the chicken to lay on the egg so that they can hatch, and then we'll have chicken, egg plus chicks at the same time? What is our strategy? I want to look at what people have been saying on our socials, because we've been posting this question on social media. The question has been, are jobs abroad the solution to Kenya's unemployment challenge? We have a poll running on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, and the majority are saying no. On Facebook, 72%, over 80% on YouTube. On X, again, 84.3% are saying no. So many are saying that this is not the solution to Kenya's unemployment challenge, by and large.
Right.
I want then to conclude by just pointing us into even what our consultants have said here. The issue of how the government is managing the overseas jobs, okay? We had Dr. Alfred Mutua saying that, now the government is tough on this. The government, the truth is, it's not tough on it. We have the National Employment Authority that does not have a sufficient budget to even create the awareness that we are talking about here. How many agencies are registered? How do you get a job abroad? How do you qualify for it? What do you get, if you're getting this job abroad, and so on and so forth. The lack of information is because of the underfunding of the National Employment Authority, on not even giving it proper mandate. We have a labor ministry that is then now starting to do the job directly instead of using the National Employment Authority, and so on and so forth. Borrow from other jurisdictions that have done this. Like we just said, India, Philippines, and others have done it in such a way that you make sure that the people who are leaving your borders to go and work, whether it's skilled, semi-skilled, or unskilled labor, all those people have government support through and through. Whether it's a teacher who's going to work in Australia or in Asia or in the Americas, they have the support. Whether it's a doctor, they have the support. And they can come back home and they know that they have the support of social protection. They've talked about that, establishing a fund that then ensures that there's welfare of the workers living in Kenya, so that that fund can support them in times of distress. It's talk, never worked. Other countries have working funds that work. It's just for us, if the government, the government is doing this, the government is pushing on with looking at how you can expand the job opportunities in this globalized village, so that you are trained here and you are a citizen of the world and you can work anywhere, but you are able to also remit and send our remittances back home. You can come back whenever you want to. The government should get serious on streamlining this. It's not streamlining it, and that's why you see the many voices that you hear are the negatives. There are very many positives as well out there, just like we've heard from Australia. The gentleman has just told us his wife works in Australia, he has lived in Australia, and he has positive stories. There are many positives, but the negatives will be there because the government is just focusing on get out, get out, get out, get out. We're having numbers, we're putting numbers on the board. 400,000, next week it's 512,000.
All right, just before you come in, there are Kenyans in diaspora who have a different experience. Let's listen to them before we come to close this.
Hello guys, my name is Jeff Defford. I'm currently based in Bahrain. I've been here for over a decade, to be precise, and I'm in the hospitality industry.
Hello, NTV Kenya viewers. My name is Daniel Ngari. I am the CEO of Peaceful Corporation here in Japan. I've been living in Japan for the last 12 years, and I've been in the automotive and heavy machinery sales industry for the last 14 years. One of the biggest challenges has been access to ready finance. As a foreign entrepreneur, securing local funding is not easy. However, we've had to rely on our own cash flow to run and grow our business.
Hello guys, my name is Christopher Maina Ireri from Tharaka Nithi County. I live and work in Qatar as a tour guide right now.
My name is Rogers Mnyakenye. I was born and raised up in Kenya. I traveled to Australia 10 years ago, where I joined my wife, who was studying as a student over there. In the last 10 years, I've been able to work in different companies, especially in working with people, vulnerable people in community.
My name is Shiko Maura. I've called UAE home for the past 8 years. And in UAE, we are many professionals from Kenya. We have the disadvantage of rogue agents. There are way too many. They've taken this thing as a joke. And as we all know, there's no way you can take human life as a joke. And you as an agent, why do you want to gamble with the life of the other Kenyans? Why do you want to bring them here and dump them here, promising fake jobs?
All right, different views. Zahab?
Well, ever since I saw Trump's mission on ICE sending black people back to their countries, I don't think I want to find myself in a deportation plane. But I feel like the solution is relevantly easy. Social cohesion is just a structure that the government has no parameters within. I don't think we have policies that are people-centered. I don't think we have communities at heart when we're building the economy. I don't think we think through what Kenyans actually need vis-a-vis what we want to provide to them. I think we're forcing so much in the throats of Kenyans that we are so far from the lived realities of every Kenyan. Agriculture contributes to like 33% of the GDP. It employs over 60% of Kenyans. Yet policies within agriculture are beyond, from the fake fertilizers to, I can't even finish. The informal sector does a good 83% of the jobs, but it only receives 15% of government subsidies or any parameter whatsoever. The Kenya's digital economy, and I'm so glad somebody actually mentioned, we have to understand that this world is a global village. It is. And within this global village, some boundaries have their own policies that protect their own citizens. So when we're telling young people to go more online, to find services online, start a business online, young people, Kenyans in general, already have. And what actually does not make sense is that you don't have data protection that actually allows you to exist there. So it's like, as a young person, generally, we are ranked in a whole fight against so many things. The brain drain is relevant, guys. We cannot take all our professionals outside. We will need those professionals here. Who's going to treat us? Who are going to fly our planes? Who are going to teach in our schools? We are so preoccupied in economic exportation. We are slowly forgetting that all other countries are hungry for the Kenyan expertise. They would pay so much for Kenyans to go work there. What happens to the Kenyan soil in itself? I think for me, my last word would be, we deserve to be here. We deserve to be in spaces that allow us to exist. We deserve jobs that actually pay well and dignify us when we're in our own country. We deserve to experience capitation that allows businesses to be grown. We deserve to just be. I think Kenyans, we're dealing with so much. Can we just be allowed at least to stay home?
Wait.
I felt that. I felt that in my heart. I felt that in my heart.
That was not the part of the plan. In this show, Eric has lost his job as the fact checker. I hope that the Philippines are happy to employ a fact checker, because Eric tomorrow needs to find a job because the gentleman there who's taking his job. But there's something that correlates here as we wind down. This is how you wind it out this way. That the political promises that were made have ended up creating a loop of a situation where we take our money to invest in political expediencies. So, in 2013, President Uhuru Kenyatta then, and his deputy William Ruto came up with a concept, largely, that was supposed to solve a problem that they created by themselves. We had Vision 2030 that Eric spoke about, a whole plan on how the country can develop by making sure that we invest in areas that would give us industries, manufacturing, so that we can have local growth, to create a country that the president then said a middle-income nation. So the president and the deputy then created this thing called, as a country, we need to take care of a problem that they said was delayed development agenda, all right? Delayed development agenda. In essence, they said, because we have many places that don't have roads, we have places that don't have schools, we have places that need markets and those things, we need to take commercial loans to do these things because these things are supposed to be done essentially to create this system that the country needs. So this creates this urgent need for getting loans, and we've taken loans to build local markets today that no one actually uses. We've taken loan to build hundreds of kilometers of new roads, TVETs that no one is going to, and that sort of thing. Delayed development agenda, they called. That was a political promise that gave the political license so that we can take the loans that has ended us in problems that we're in today. So the last word is this, that to the question, are jobs abroad the solution to Kenya's unemployment challenge? Useful. The jobs today, they're very useful, but not sufficient, all right? Labor export can help reduce unemployment pressure, but Kenya must prioritize investing in local industry, youth skills, and sustainable economic development to truly solve its unemployment crisis. This is, on the medium term, a very good idea. But in the long term, it cannot work and will not work. We must invest in ourselves. We have to invest in our industries so that we can all have what Zaha calls allowed to be at home and not be shipped outside the home, all of us. Thank you very much for your company. Coming to the last word, to you fantastic audience and your views and everything you've had to share. Thank you for bringing yourself and your vulnerability as well. We thank you very much. Everything we say here is the last word. Eric Latif, Sharon Mumani, Zaha Ndimuli, and I'm James Smart. We do this again next week on Tuesday, same station, same place. My name is James Smart. Have a lovely night.